Good morning, everyone. Hope you can hear me okay. Hope everyone's fine. Today, new week, new month, new nonsense in the newspapers. Anyway, before we get into it, let's see who's in. Good morning, Kirsty Hamilton. Morning, Desiree. Morning, George Ewan. Morning, Stephen Nichol. Morning, the other Davy. Morning, Rosie. Morning, Ange. Kirsty. Morning, Stephen Bankier, lurking, so not ignoring anyone. Morning, Scott Hayes. Morning, Jeremy Dodger. Forgive the typos, your pal Davy Milligan. No, no typos, Milligan. Get a grip. Morning, Scott. And we're already saying good morning, you. Morning, John. Morning, George Docherty. Morning, Linda. Morning, Ange. I will say that. Morning, Ange already. Stuart. Martin Williamson. Good morning, Lorraine. And wee Bird. That's us right up the top. Let's get back down again. Morning, Sir Larry. Morning, Class Action. Morning, Fiona. Morning, Ewan Guthrie. Morning, Last Braveheart. Morning, Alistair. And good morning, Rosalind McGregor. All right, let's get this one underway. Numbers are climbing nicely, folks. Indy Truck Davy out the truck now at home in his office on the 2nd of the 2nd, 2026, where it is 4 degrees, sunny and cloudy at the same time. There is some showers for later in the forecast. Humidity is at 100%. Wind speed 16 mile an hour, so just a light breeze. And sunset today will be at 16:50. I believe it was 16:46 on Friday. So it appears the days are getting 2 minutes longer as we get through the month, or we get through the month of January. Okay, right, let's go on with this. First up this morning, we've got the Scotsman. What's the Scotsman go for us? Nothing is off the table in huge overhaul of schools exams. New qualification body vows not to repeat mistakes of the past. Well, you know, the SQA has been around a long time. Didn't make many mistakes. It's same as the education systems right across these islands. During the pandemic, it didn't perform very well. And it's to be rebranded at the insistence of the cuckoos in the nest. An expensive rebranding, but that's all it is. It's just changing the Scottish Qualifications Authority to whatever they're going to call it next. But it will be the same thing. It will be the same thing. But as I say, it's going to be an expensive rebrand, which was not necessary and was at the insistence of the cuckoos in the nest. So mere public money wasted by the English parties squatting in the Scottish Parliament. Next up, we've got the fail. Let's see what it's got for us this morning. And the fail tells us exclusive files, a bombshell, Andrew and new Epstein legal threat. Apparently, Epstein trafficked more than one woman to the pedo prince. His brother had Savo as a fixer, and this disgusting creature had Epstein as a fixer. But these people don't face the consequences of their actions. No, that's just the plebs. There's one rule for them, a different rule for us. Simple as that. Depressing as that is, that's just how it is. For those and such as those, there are no laws, there are no rules. Right, next up we've got Herald. Thanks, Kill King. Oh, folks, I'd checked the bank. We've got £1,000 in the bank, and I have one food bank to send money to the day, and at the moment I'm researching another. So, community food share in Western Berkshire, because that is, of course, where we're sending the money this month. Okay, back to the newspapers. The Herald. Why didn't I go up? Right, the Herald, here we go. New era for islands hailed amid call for backup funds. And apparently, the leaders of Orkney, Shetland and Western Isles councils are well chuffed with the new funding package in the budget, but they would like more for infrastructure, especially for transmitting energy to the mainland, because of their potential when it comes to wind generation. But apparently, good news story for the Scottish Government. The Northern Isles and the Western Isles are gay chuffed with the new funding package. Not very often you get an SNP good story. Right, next up we've got The Guardian. The Guardian tells us Mandelson under fire as files appear to show Epstein sent him 75,000. Well as being a fixer for paedophiles, Epstein was also a financier. It also tells us here that Fergie asked to marry him when she was broke. But of course, as we know, when it came to women that weren't the wee girls, then he only had eyes for Ghislaine. And Scott Bryan, thank you for your donation. Thank you. So, Mayor dirt comes out in the Epstein files. Will anybody be held responsible? Will anybody go to jail? No. That's just for the plebs. Next up, we'll get the Times. New Epstein victim. I was sent for sex with Andrew. Oh, dearie dear. I wonder whether he's going to get 12 million this time for a settlement, because I don't think Charlie's going to be as generous as his mother was. I certainly don't. A taste for them young, didn't he? Right, after the Guardian, the Times, it's the Tory graph. Thank you, Lorraine. No kids starving our watch. We'll do our best. But as a community, is very generous. You know, excuse how poor the light is today, folks. The south-facing windows in my front room, the sun's blazing in. I can't do nothing about it. All right. So what's the Tory graph next to this? It certainly is. Let's get it up. Mandelson faces order for Epstein evidence. Mandelson won't give evidence in Congress, and the Americans can't force him. Simple as that. So they might be asking for Mandy to go and give evidence in Congress, but he won't. Down with that. Next one up. We've got the eye. Bring justice for Epstein victims Andrew and Mandelson told. Now this is the Congress wants Randy Andy, the pedo, and Mandelson to give evidence at Congress, but they ain't gonna. And they won't be compelled to. We'll get to that. We'll get to that in a wee minute. But aye, you're right. Right on time, Tay, my friend. Right on time. Labour won't rule out return of Peer. Minister dodged question on whether Mandelson will sit in the Lords. SNP slam insult as public would be paying wages of man left disgraced over Epstein links. So it would appear Mandy's going to keep his seat in the Lords. And there's every chance that the Labour Party could rehabilitate him a bit later on. But why won't they expel Mandy for the Lords? Well, they need to get an agreement with him. Because Mandy will have an awful lot of dirt on them all. He's been around a long time. But Mandy and Andy, they won't be going to Congress, that's for sure. After the National, we'll get the Metro. What's the Metro on this morning? Explosive files reveal more secrets. Embarrassment of riches for old pals of Epstein. Then he's on to talk about how another woman was trafficked to Andy and how Mandy gets 75 grand for Epstein. While all this nonsense is in the papers, it'll be suiting the Labour government because nobody scrutinised how shite they're performing. Next up, we'll get a loony rag the Express, and I mean, this one is way out there today, folks. And I mean, way out there. Hit the like button, please, folks. It helps the algorithm. Get it up to 100 mark. Right, so what's a loony rag, knuckle draggers rag the Express got for us this morning? PM wants to rewind freedoms Brexit gave us. What fucking freedoms? Prior to Brexit, I had the right to live, love, and settle in 27 European nations. No, I don't have that right. Prior to Brexit, I could trade freely with the EU if I wanted to. Can't do that now. In fact, I can't think of a single fucking freedom that Brexit has given us. If anything, it shrunk the UK's world exponentially and left the UK in a very precarious situation in world trade and in soft power. Thank you, Kirsty, for the food banks. Thank you. But really, I mean, the Express has really lost the fucking plot here. Yes, we do need to roll back on these so-called fucking freedoms we didn't get. Because the UK, and Little England especially, is fucking doomed without access to the common market. Free access to the common market. The cost to UK businesses has been fucking massive. And of course, 5% has been knocked off the GDP of these islands. Freedom, fucking Brexit freedoms. Wow. Nurse the editor of the Express is off his fucking meds. Oofed. Right. Next up we got Rancid. And it's promoting Labour. Parley poll win. Women only. Labour Chief Sarwar vows to ban all trans prisoners from female jails if he elected after the election. Let's think about that. Let's think about that. So Sarwar's telling us he'll ban all trans people from women's jails. So what happens with a trans woman who hasn't been through the operation yet? She goes to male jail, does she? What about a woman who's transitioning to a man but hasn't had the op? Does she go to a male jail? That'd be fucking interesting. Not. What it would be is fucking dangerous. Oof. Honestly. But as I say, Labour, the Lancet, as usual, is promoting Labour as a political vehicle. For the Scottish people, they've fucking no chance. Right, next up we've got The Sun. And The Sun's own a sports stroke celebrity story. And that has reality star and F1 legend. She jets in for night at hotel. And apparently Lewis, Formula 1 driver, is dating Kim Kardashian, apparently. But I'd have thought Kim Kardashian would be a bit old for him. Must be one of her daughters. Well, I don't know anything about the Kardashians. I really don't. Anyway, the book's done now, so that means there's only one thing left to look at. Only one thing left to look at. And that's the Star. So what's the Star go for us this morning? Get your nappies on, folks. Sumo mania. Japanese fighting is now one of Britain's fastest growing sports. So there you go, folks. It would appear some overweight people have decided to take up fighting each other. I'm sure it's very, in fact, I know it's entertaining. I've watched sumo. It really is entertaining. But apparently it is now sweeping the UK as a new trend. So that's what we've got today for you folks. They say the headline of today was the Looney Rag Express about PM about to roll back on the Brexit freedoms, on the freedoms Brexit gave us. Fuck. Wow. I mean, people with holiday homes can only go there for 3 months a year now. Fuck's sake. Freedoms. Big up the sumo. Right, I'm going to get off air and let Regan Elite take over. He'll be on at 11 o'clock, so he'll be getting himself set up at the moment. So that's the first day of the week over, and they say the Looney Rag the Express tops the headlines today with the most balmy headline you've ever seen. Freedoms. Brexit shrunk our world. Fucking freedoms. Thank you, Solari. That's very generous of you. A swift fiver to help those less fortunate. You wish it could be more. Every little bit helps, Solari. It really does. And as you're south of the border, it's very generous of you. Although we have forayed south of the border, they say, we're looking at Northern Ireland at some point through this year as well, and Wales. Okay, Right. Thanks for tuning in such great numbers again, folks. We'll see you all tomorrow morning. Oh, sorry, we won't be back this afternoon at 4 for the Two Davies. I dare say the other Davy may well be participating. So look after yourselves. I've got a couple of things I need to nip out and do. And as you've already seen, I've got a food bank to contact to try and give them money. Okay. So you guys have a lovely day. Sorry, lovely morning. And we'll see you this afternoon. Bye for now.